People ask, who's this O.R. Tambo? There's an airport named after him, and that's all they know about him. They don't know that he's the person who, in the exile ANC, led South Africa to freedom, saying, give all the honours to Nelson Mandela, he's my comrade. They were lawyers, they were partners, they were comrades in struggle. But there were hundreds and thousands of people involved in the struggle, all the way back to what the Boers, the first settlers, called Harry Alchumato and his wife, who were the first people here at the Cape, and whom they robbed of their cattle, their land, their wives, and the future of South Africa. And I think it's important that young people, but also their parents, should know that we have a long history of struggle, and it's not just Nelson Mandela who found magic words for President de Klerk, and he said, okay, I set you free. It's tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who took action to bring freedom. And the important point is, we say we're free, but there are huge inequalities in our country. And by leaving it all to Nelson Mandela, we say we just need a magic person with magic words. But freedom comes from the mass of the people working together. And so here I am to celebrate the tens of thousands of people who fought for freedom, many who will never be known, from the little villages from all around the country, from exile, from internally. And I think it's important that we pass on our history and know that it is the mass of the people who will set us free to achieve our dream of a South Africa for all of us who live in it. You know, in the days of exile and the worst apartheid oppression, Oliver Tambo was sent out the country to revitalize the ANC. And it was the anti-apartheid solidarity movement throughout Africa, in Great Britain, in France, in the United States, Martin Luther King in particular, who actually kept the idea of African freedom, of African equality, of the ability of African people to govern ourselves as African people. And that's the important role that they played and are still playing. Very important.
The people of the world are interested to learn of us and of our journey. So our quest is to remember our ancestors, so that their self-sacrifice, that self-sacrifice with no hope nor desire for reward, which can really only inspire future generations if those future generations know of them, if they have not been forgotten, and if their deeds are remembered. And this exhibition, I would submit, is one of the ways of doing that. Ours was, after all, the moral cause of the international community in the greatest international solidarity movement of the 20th century, some would say of human history. So it is our generation's duty, it behoves us to ensure that those who did not live through it, the born frees of today and tomorrow, will know of the efforts of the legions of freedom fighters, know of our journey to liberty as a country, because all that sacrifice, over 350 years of it, generation after generation, giving of their sons and daughters and family members for this goal, this precious stone called freedom, all of that sacrifice was for us to have the society we enjoy today. That history is a great resource for our country. So we at the Long March to Freedom National Heritage Monument seek to plot that journey. We seek to tell future generations, black and white, tourists, domestic and foreign, about these glory days that have passed, to tell them about their outstanding ancestors who fought generation after generation for their people at great cost to themselves. The only reward we can give that pantheon of patriots, the only thing we can do for them is to remember them, to remember who they were, what they did, and that they loved us more than they loved themselves and sacrificed for us with that in mind, that they gave their all for us. This Long March to Freedom is also an off-campus school. It's education that is permanent for our people and for all young and old who come and visit it. But it's also our national identity, it's who we are.